Today we're tackling two key coverages for the property and casualty exam: medical payments, often called MedPay, and personal injury protection, or PIP. The exam loves to test the distinction between these first-party, no-fault benefits and third-party liability coverage. Let's start with medical payments coverage. MedPay covers reasonable medical and funeral expenses for the insured and passengers in their vehicle if they are injured in an auto accident. The key phrase here is regardless of fault. It doesn't matter who caused the accident. MedPay is there to pay for these costs up to its limit for people inside your car. It also covers the named insured and their family members if they're injured as a pedestrian or while riding in someone else's car. The most common exam trap is confusing MedPay with bodily injury liability. If you are at fault for an accident, your MedPay covers you and your passengers. Your bodily injury liability, on the other hand, covers the people in the other car that you injured. Now let's look at personal injury protection, or PIP. Think of PIP as MedPay's bigger sibling. Like MedPay, it is a no-fault coverage that pays for medical expenses for you and your passengers. However, PIP is broader and can cover things MedPay does not. The exam will expect you to know these additional benefits, which primarily include lost wages if an injury prevents you from working, and the cost to hire someone for essential services you can no longer perform, like childcare or housekeeping. So, if a question describes a covered person losing income after an accident, that's a signal for PIP coverage, not MedPay. The core concept connecting MedPay and PIP is the no-fault principle. In a traditional tort liability system, the at-fault party's insurance pays for the other party's injuries. No-fault systems were designed to streamline payments for injuries by having each person's own insurer cover their own medical costs, regardless of who was at fault. This system also generally restricts an injured party's right to sue the at-fault driver for damages like pain and suffering, unless their injuries meet a certain severity threshold. An exam question might present a scenario. You're insured. Sarah is hit by another driver. Sarah and her passenger are both injured. The question asks which coverage pays for their medical bills. Since MedPay and PIP are no fault, Sarah's own policy will pay for her and her passenger's injuries up to the policy limits, providing faster payment without waiting for fault to be determined. To keep this straight for the exam, use this phrase: MedPay and PIP are for me and my people. Bodily injury is for the other guy. This shortcut helps you remember that MedPay and PIP are first-party coverages for the insured and their passengers, while bodily injury is a third-party liability coverage that pays for injuries you cause to others. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.